Well, after his disastrous appearance with the National Association of Black Journalists, Donald Trump showed up at a rally in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, bloated, swollen, orange, slurring, and visibly disoriented, and silenced the crowd. You could hear a pin drop during most of this rally as he ranted, raved, and suffered a bunch of nuclear glitches. And this is a very rapid decline that we are seeing. Here is Donald Trump with his new line about how Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer has become a Palestinian member of Hamas. Silent. The crowd is silent. He's losing them, folks.
Well in line, Chuck Schumer refused to shake the Israeli Prime Minister's hand. Chuck Schumer has become a Palestinian. Yes, can you believe it? He's become a proud member of Hamas. Nancy Pelosi likewise denounced the speech in shameful terms.
Completely and totally deranged. And it's gotten so, I hate to use the term weird, but it's gotten so weird that even his crowd is like, this is some weird you know what. Now, there was a moment when Trump's crowd finally perked up, which is when Trump started pushing the transphobia.
On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content.
That fires him up.
Onto the lives of our children. And I will not give one penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate or a mask mandate.
As I've said before, every public school has vaccine requirements, and this just means Trump will stop funding public education, which, by the way, many Republicans want to do. Trump issuing some of the usual threats that he issued about Joe Biden's forthcoming presidency in 2020, now about Kamala Harris. The country is over if we have a President Kamala Harris.
I think worse than Biden, and he's gone, he's shot. But if she becomes your president, our country is finished, I'll tell you. In Pennsylvania, your beautiful Commonwealth, it's always good when you remember it's a Commonwealth. He would call it a state often. Remember when Biden I used to love this guy, because you were on pins and needles watching him speak. You know, when's he gonna blow it? And it would always happen. I think worse than Biden.
None of this is sounding like Trump is particularly coherent for a guy who's focusing only on Joe Biden. And that at another point in the speech, Trump, speaking to a completely silent crowd, talking about the cognitive stuff and saying, hey, you know what? They're going after me for talking about Hannibal Lecter. That's not really a problem. And the crowd is weirded out.
Is a step above, right? This is, they go crazy when they want to try and say, he's cognitively impaired. You know, I stand up here for 2 hours and I speak without a mistake. But when I say Hannibal Lecter, they say, why does he keep mentioning it? Because Hannibal Lecter was a serious psycho, right? He was Silence of the Lambs. Dr. Hannibal Lecter, he'd like to have you for dinner. See the man with the wall? Stand up. Look at this guy. He's here so much. He's great. He's great.
I'm guessing Trump's pointing to Brick Suit Guy, who we've interviewed. That's my guess here.
He's a Trump voter. I don't think we have to worry about him, do we? He's a Trump voter all the way. But Hannibal Lecter would like to have you for dinner.
All right. So not normal. Not normal at all. Trump also talking about Kamala Harris being beautiful or her name being beautiful. It just is degenerating into stream of consciousness nonsense.
I can't believe I'm doing it. You know, the weird thing. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I was talking about Biden. I didn't even know her name. Nobody did. Kamala. Hello. Beautiful. I didn't even know her name. Kamala.
Oh, I guess he's saying someone in the audience is beautiful. I don't know. It's all very much jumping from one thing to another. At another moment during the speech, Trump pulls out these lurid anecdotes involving migrant crimes that he likes to hold up as evidence of something. And the crowd really isn't into it. I don't know how else to say it. They're just kind of like bored by the whole thing.
Every single day you read about one of these horrible monsters from parts unknown who raped a young girl, killed her, cut him up, uses knives, not guns, because it's a slower death. These are monsters, and we have them
The audience seems bored to tears.
in our country, and we're going to deport them at a level like nobody's ever seen. We're going to get them the hell out of our country.
There you
go.
go.
Back to the country from which they came.
That roused them. Okay, we're going to start mass deportations of people. Some glitches and slurring from Trump talking about the nation's crime rate. I don't know.
Just Chicago and the whole nation's crime rate. Look.
Crime rate, he meant. The Cong rate was actually the crime rate. And then as the speech continued, just slurring more and more and more, talking about MASH and stuff like that.
And then radical Islamic terrorists. She backs mass amnesty, and citizenship.
Mask amnesty. If you are not wearing a mask, we will grant you amnesty.
For all illegals, she supports mandatory gun confiscation. Would anybody?
Confiscation. Yeah, so Trump really struggling to get through this one. And finally, all of a sudden, Biden isn't too old to be president. That's not the issue. And of course, the reason Trump is talking about this is that he's basically as old as Joe Biden. And now the contrast is Trump and 59-year-old Kamala Harris. Trump now seems like the old guy. Trump now will be the oldest presidential nominee in American history. So Trump's new line has to be, the issue is not that Biden is old.
You know, 81 is not old. I have friends that are 95 that are still. Bernie Marcus, founder of Home Depot, 95 years old, still sharp. I spoke to him the other day. I said, I think you're smarter now than you were 30 years ago. I don't know what's going on. I said, what's going on? It's working. 81 is not old. And, but he's different. He's a bad 81. He's a bad 81.
There you go. So this is very different than what Trump said 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, Biden was too old. MAGA world was saying Biden's simply too old. Trump at 2.5 years younger is the right age. Now compared to 59-year-old Kamala Harris, who has the energy, who has the speaking ability, who has extraordinary energy at rallies, who is just dumping in gobs of money in fundraising. Now, all of a sudden, 81's fine as long as you're sharp. And by the way, I'm 79 or 78, however old Trump is, and I'm very sharp as well. The problem's just Biden's sharpness. A very different story when he now officially is the oldest presidential nominee in American history. Here's my question for you. Do you expect this to continue declining as we get closer and closer to November? Or do you believe that this is about as bad as it's going to get? Let me know, info@davidpakman.com. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. It's free. Just hit the subscribe button. We're pushing to 2.5 million subscribers. We went from 2.2 to 2.3 million yesterday. Can you believe what's happening? Let's get to the 2.5 million. And we have a fantastic bonus show for you today. We are going to dive deep into why the weird allegation about Trump and Vance is working. Why is it working? We will talk about Twitter suspending the White Dudes for Harris account after that major fundraiser. And we will also talk about Illinois banning companies from forcing workers to listen to anti-union talk. I'll tell you about, at a former job of mine, the anti-union videos I was subjected to. All of those stories and more on today's bonus show. Sign up at joinpakman.com, get instant access, and I will see you on the bonus show, and we'll have a new show for you tomorrow. Our sponsor, Laundry Sauce, has created the world's best-smelling laundry detergent in simple-to-use, high-performance pods that get the job done. I love the scents. You've got your Australian sandalwood, Egyptian rose. They've stripped away all the unnecessary ingredients and the artificial dyes, and they maximize the hardworking stain fighters and enzymes to ensure your favorite clothes really look brand new. I love Laundry Sauce because they smell so much better than the stuff you get from the grocery store. You know, the usual suspects you get at the store. There's a weird, cheap, chemically type of smell. All of the different scents from Laundry Sauce have a luxurious, smooth, natural scent. Not too strong. You can especially tell when your clothes are coming right out of the dryer. It just smells great. And it is not just pods, because Laundry Sauce makes scent boosters, dryer sheets, dryer balls, fabric softeners. If you aren't happy, Send back laundry sauce for a full refund, no questions asked. Head to laundrysauce.com/Pacman. Use the promo code Pacman at checkout for 15% off. The link is down below.